I'm Trish Toby with WARC reporting to you live from Westchester, New York, where there appears to be some sort of mutant menace on the loose.
Hey, welcome to Mutant Menace. Wow, shit. How did I... Hey, I'm Pat Reber.
And I'm Matt Allcamp.
And say it with me, Pete. Welcome to Mutant Menace.
Menace. I feel like we need to take Pete's audio and put a countdown in front of it or something.
Yeah.
We hit it, and then we don't know when he's going to start talking.
Maybe speed it up a bit, too.
Okay, we'll speed it up.
It's way too slow. I've been meaning to say. I think it's been too slow for a little while since we started trying to coordinate on it.
I think we'll put a click track on it and a countdown, and we'll speed it up. And, you know, maybe we'll make it a little... Ooh, let's make it a little robotic.
Yeah. Welcome to Mutant Menace.
We can... I don't know how to change the tone in that way, but I can definitely make it sound like it's coming from a computer or a robot.
And then Pete, if you're listening, if you could record a little 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3. That'd be really helpful for us.
If all of our listeners could send us a and a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, then we'll just have a chorus, and then we'll all be on the right time.
Yeah. We'll put this together, folks. We've got audio editing equipment. Send us your voice. mutantmenacepod@gmail.com. Speaking of, Matt,
just in time.
That is right. What a strange coincidence. It's almost like it's listening. We do have a couple of emails for Pat's email corner today, Matt. The first one comes from Carlos, who has just ignored our formatting rules. Says, hello, how's it going? Hope all is well. I have some cool information that might interest you. Your podcast, Mutant Menace, has good performance in Apple Podcast rankings last 30 days. Position 32 in the category Arts. Parentheses, Norway.
Whoa! All right, so we're doing well in Norway right now.
Pretty big deal. Number 32 in Arts Podcasts of Norway.
Well, if you are listening to us in Norway, write in. What's Carlos going to do for us then?
I think he's trying to advertise a website. This seems like an automated email, but
hey, Pat, I'll tell you what. You want to know what gets you on to that prime 32 spot in the arts category in Norway?
Yeah, tell me.
A single download. we had one download from Norway. We had one Norway.
Tied for 32nd place.
That doesn't mean one person listened to our whole show. That means one person downloaded one episode. So
maybe this one will be number 2 and they can tell us all about it when they finally listen. Second email is from, of course, Email Michael. Says, hey, Pat, tell Matt that I, too, often have dreams in recurring places, but none in hotels, which are also Pat's office.
Email Michael, you should be telling this to Pat. Pat's the one who asked about this.
That is, you. I guess maybe we should clarify because Email Michael follows the rules to a T.
Which I'm glad about, and if he stops, then we'll stop reading his emails. But go ahead, Pat.
If you're addressing me, it's okay just to say, hey, Pat. You don't have to tell me to tell Matt. I'm going to share it with Matt.
No.
Okay, sorry, Matt. What's the rule?
He needs to say, hey, Pat, tell Matt to
tell Pat. Okay. He closes out by saying, I think that was the only question asked, so bye. I'm not going to...
That's what I like about Email Michael. He listens so well. He's such a good listener. And I mean that in both senses. Like he's good at listening and he's a good listener to this podcast.
Yeah. One of the best.
Mm-hmm.
He does, and this is maybe what prevents him from being the best. Sign off with yours and Holy Hannah.
What
Email
the
Michael.
fuck?
I know. Here's what I'm going to start doing when people put Holy Hannah in their emails. I'm going to say...
which many people do now.
I'm going to say there's a word in this email, and I'm not going to read it because reading it would give it power. And then all of the listeners can go ahead and assume that you said something racist, that you said a slur. We got through, I don't want to spoil anything about the episode coming up, but we don't have any mentions of that phrase. That is the end of Pat's email corner. Right? Sound cue. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
It knew that I was transitioning.
I don't know if it's because most of this week we're reading a different writer than we have been recently.
Yeah, we're a little all over the place.
But before we talk about that at all, I don't even want to get into it unless I ask you.
Such a good transition.
Pat, have you been doing anything X-Men related this week?
I'll tell you what, Matt. This one's going to sound a little familiar to you. I have done something X-Men related this week. After you talked about the New Mutants on the podcast, and then after the recording session, we talked about it for another 20 minutes. Instead of going to bed that night, I put it on. It is streaming on, I think, Disney. So, yeah,
That's where I watched it. That's where I watched it.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it on Disney.
That's how Matt got it.
I paid for the account and I watched it.
It is. I'll give this to you, Matt. I hadn't seen it since my first time watching it, and at the time I dismissed it because there are some things about it that are just very comic book movie-y. But
right, yeah, it's fighting. There's so many forces in that movie fighting each other. Yeah.
They clearly wrote that movie without the intent of really putting fight scenes in, and without the ones that they kind of shoehorn into it. I think it would be very cool. Like, yeah, as a horror movie, there's also, you pointed something out to me, which is the lighting and the set design. The set is clearly designed to be seen in very low lighting, but the lights are blasted on it. They've brightened everything up, and it just looks weird. It looks bright and drab at the same time.
Right. It's because I think it's because like it's the era that comic book movies were hitting, and so everybody felt like they had to hit this exact formula. So it's like, you know, there's a small fight in the middle, then big fight at the end, right? So that's why they added in those fight scenes that feel so awkward. And yeah, and it's like they turned up the lights without that's not how they expected that movie to be shown. I don't think there's so many forces at work here. There's clearly like a directorial force, the editor and the marketing department all fighting each other to make different movies. And it's really frustrating.
You're right that there's a very good story somewhere in there though, and that the acting is really better than it has any right to be. They understand these not just good acting, but good comic book acting, which I think is its own important thing.
Right. I think that's true. I think it is hindered by the fact that there's some lines of dialogue that you just could not possibly deliver well because there's some bad dialogue in that movie. But it's also hindered by the fact that the very first actor you see, at least with a speaking role, is Danny Moonstar's father, and that actor, it feels like they plucked a guy off the street and were like, "You're going to be in this movie," and he was like, "I've never."
Contest winner.
Yeah, it was like he was acting in the movie the way that you would read a report in front of your class in middle school.
We're in danger.
You stay here. I'm gonna go take care of it.
After that, I will tell you, Matt, I went on to I do this a lot more frequently than you do. I go back and just watch movies that I've seen before that I know are terrible.
Okay.
And I did that with X-Men Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Learned a couple of things, confirmed. I don't need to talk about them. I'm sure people have seen them. If they haven't, you don't need to. But number one, Nightcrawler, not furry. They made him blue skin. Number two, Warren Angel appears. He's They try to give him an edge. He like loves listening to metal music, and he's in some sort of underground fighting ring. He
What?
is
He's in an underground fighting ring? I don't remember
Yeah.
this even a little bit.
Against his will, but yes.
Jesus Christ.
He is always shirtless, even after Apocalypse gets a hold of him and gives him metal wings and does some weird things to his face. He's still fully shirtless the entire. That is in the movies. His film representation has strictly been long pants and no shirt.
This is the same Angel that in what, like X3 or something was looking for a cure, right?
No. This is so
different
Matt,
continuity, different guy.
No, it's the same continuity. It's okay. So X-Men, X2, X3, all one timeline.
Yes.
Then they go back to X-Men First Class. We go to the past. We go to the 60s, and we see how the X-Men formed. Then we go to the 70s with Days of Future Past, where Wolverine ends up fixing the original timeline, the X2, X3 Last Stand timeline, and Jean is still alive. Everybody's fine.
Okay.
And then we just move forward from there. So we go into the 80s with Apocalypse. We go into the 80s again, with maybe the 90s with Dark Phoenix. There's not really that one's not as much of a period piece.
It's hard to tell when New Mutants takes place. I think the 90s.
Yeah, I think the New Mutants is actually intentionally timeless. I thought that was another cool thing about it, is like she's at one point.
They are watching Buffy several times in the show.
They are watching Buffy. Also,
so maybe it's 2000. Anyway,
one of them has a smartphone.
They do?
I think the Doctor has a smartphone. Maybe it's not supposed to be a phone, but it's like her thing to control security in the building. And when somebody rips it out of her hand, she says, "My phone."
Oh, I thought it was just a remote, but I didn't catch her yelling, "My phone." Am I wrong in remembering that the cure that Angel seeks is in the original trilogy?
Correct. X3 Last Stand. He's not seeking it. His father is forcing it upon him.
Okay, so he is the same Angel that was in X-Men Apocalypse in the underground fighting ring in the 90s.
No. This is
fucking Christ.
That is a different Angel. They're essentially canceling the Angel from the past out of that canon, which they can do because they said, "Oh, we fixed the whole time." Everything.
Okay, so one of the things that Wolverine changed was he made Warren Worthington's parents have sex earlier, so that they'd have Warren.
The same age back in the mid 80s.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
One more movie I watched, Matt, that is tangentially X-Men related: Sinners. Holy cow, very good.
What way is that tangentially X-Men related?
Michael B. Jordan played Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, in a reboot of a franchise where that role was originally played by Chris Evans, and that character appears in Deadpool versus Wolverine, which is officially a canon X-Men movie.
Oh, you're right. All right, fair enough.
Also, Haley Steinfeld is in it, and she's Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
Just there's a lot of comic book characters in the movie Sinners.
Well, it's almost like Marvel went and raided all of Hollywood and made every single person a superhero movie actor, so that now you can't watch a single movie without it being a veteran, like the actors being veteran Marvel.
In some cases, 5 or 6 times. How many do you know how many comic book movies Chris Evans has been in? It's like over 10. Well, Matt, let me ask, did you do anything X-Men related this week?
Well, if apparently just watching movies is X-Men related, then I guess I did do something X-Men related, because I've been a real movie boy lately. I'm not a big movie boy. I play a lot of video games. I read a lot of books. I will listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't watch a lot of movies or TV. It's not because I have anything against it. I think it's just like a attention span thing, or I don't know.
You're not smug about it, like you could be.
But okay, so because I don't watch a lot of movies, every couple years I'll go, I didn't watch any movies for the past few years. So I'll just Google what were the good movies of
Okay.
2024. What were the good movies of 2023, right?
Mhm.
So there was a movie called The Outfit from 2022 that's like this Chicago crime drama that takes place all in one room, like a tailor shop in Chicago with a British tailor gets himself caught up in the Irish mob, and it's about how he maneuvers and manipulates the situation. It's really, really fucking good. I watched The Wild Robot,
Oh, yeah.
which is a DreamWorks movie, and it feels very much like a DreamWorks movie. It's like you're watching it and you're like, this is really fucking good. Holy shit. And then because it's DreamWorks, then they try to cram in so much extra story. They're like, okay, I don't even know what the point of this is anymore.
Yeah, just trying to pluck emotional strings.
Exactly. And so you're at halfway through, you're like, I get what this movie is about. I get what the artists who are in charge of it are trying to say. And then by the end, you're like, okay, what? I don't understand. Now I don't understand what any of this story was about. But it was so very cute, very beautiful. What else did I watch, Pat?
You're right, Matt. We should rein in what we consider to be X-Men related from week to week. I think if we're at the point where we're not recommending or disrecommending movies, just naming them.
We're just talking about our weeks. Well, why don't we just hop on over to the comic bag?
Ooh, yeah,
Rustle around in our comic bag and see what we can pull out. Oh, wait. Hey, it's X-Men number 106, Dark Shroud of the Past. Now, before we get into this, what I want to tell people, we are going to be reading a lot of Bill Mantlo books this week.
Yes.
He was very new to comics at this time. I think he had joined Marvel as a colorist in like 1974, 1975. And so he'd only recently started writing books. He made his name, I think, like suggesting that Marvel purchased the Micronauts franchise, which ended up being a real moneymaker for them, weirdly.
Yeah, it did really well, right?
Yes. For its time. I think, he also suggested they license ROM Space Knight. And he wrote, I think, both of those series. Supposedly, they're pretty good. I haven't read them. And honestly, Pat, literally everything else I've ever read by Bill Mantlo sucked such ass. Like, sucked such bad, horrible ass.
It's very pop comics, but like, I think the story detail is probably a step above the Avengers, but it's still very formulaic. It relies on a lot of like shtick and silly jokes.
I don't know how much we're going to be talking about Bill Mantlo's writing after this. I think we might be reading just like a very few Cloak and Dagger issues in the future.
Okay. So
maybe I'll save my discussion for Bill Mantlo's politics until then. But my overall take on Bill Mantlo's politics it's like, he's like, crime is bad. But if you fight crime in a bad way, that's bad. But it sometimes makes sense because sometimes you have to be bad to do good, but sometimes good can also be bad. And then he looks at you like you're supposed to really take that in. But that's his approach to racism. That's his approach to global politics. That's his approach to character development. Where he doesn't
wants moral ambiguity, sort of a quandary.
Right, but he also seems to be wanting to take a moral stance. But his moral stance is all of it is right, I guess.
So everything is good or bad.
Exactly. So it's really interesting. He also one time wrote a Punisher story where Punisher shot a person who beat their wife, and then immediately shot a person who littered, and then immediately shot a person who ran a red light. And apparently he did it because he just didn't like the Punisher.
Oh, why are you writing the Punisher then?
Why are you writing the Punisher?
You
Also,
probably didn't have a choice. But...
yeah, maybe that's. But also, like again, that's that sort of like kitchen sink politics of his. Like, oh, first I'll have him do something really, really noble, like shooting somebody who's
abusing
their spouse, and then have him like as if these are on a similar plane. And some other writer had to then retcon, like, oh, Punisher was actually going through a mental breakdown and was insane during that era.
Sure.
Because it didn't make any... Yeah. So anyway, so that's the sort of thing you get from Bill Mantlo. I also will say and acknowledge that his story as a human being, he's still alive, but his story has a very tragic ending. And he... was in, I believe, an accident and suffered severe brain damage, and then couldn't work any longer, like debilitating brain damage. And because he worked for Marvel Comics, he didn't have any retirement fund. He didn't have any health insurance. He was just on his own, and there were a lot of charities founded in his name to help him. Isn't that sad? And speaks to how horrible writers were being treated in this era. But it doesn't change the fact that he was a really shitty writer. That being said, X-Men 106 Dark Stride of the Past is written by Bill Mantlo. With an assist by Chris Claremont. Drawn by William Robert Brown with a couple panels by Dave Cockrum. Inked by Tom Sutton. Colored by Andy Yankus. Lettered by Joe Rosen. Edited by Archie Goodwin and Marv Wolfman.
What?
I know. Also,
Joe Rosen, not Sam Rosen, or
our boy. He's the brother of letterer Sam Rosen.
Interesting. Okay.
The Letterin Rosen Boys. It's released on May 17th, 1977. Cover date August 1977. All right.
Okay.
This is kind of why we've been stalling. This issue sucks so bad. This issue is entirely a fill-in that means absolutely nothing and was written before the series was underway, so the characters are acting all weird and the issue has no consequences whatsoever. It opens with an incredibly flimsy framing device whereupon Charles Xavier, in the exact moment we left him last issue, passes out and begins thinking about a random day from a few weeks ago.
What?
On that day, he's waking up and from one of his alien dreams and sleepily apologizes to Moira for hurting her. And she tells him that part of her still loves him.
Well, now there's a little lore drop.
Yeah, that's not bad. Meanwhile, in the danger room, Wolverine is calling himself Wolvie and dodging lasers when Colossus saves him from an I-beam falling on his head. This makes Wolverine mad for some reason, so he pops his claws, and Cyclops has to optic blast the wall and yell at him. Then...
He's ready to kill again in the danger room over practice.
I know, over practice and over somebody saving his life. Like, Colossus didn't laugh at him or make a crack or fight him. He's just saved him.
He says, nobody cramps my style.
This is before Wolverine, like, clearly, and I know this to be true, Bill Mantlo had written this, like, months before, like maybe a whole year before, and they just had it in the drawer for when Dave Cockrum needed a rest, which was this issue. And we'll find out why Dave Cockrum needed some time when we get to next issue.
Right.
But this was before Wolverine really had any personality whatsoever.
Yeah, he's certainly not an honor-bound man here.
No. Which will come up a couple times. Like, Bill Mantlo still clearly doesn't, for the next couple years, still doesn't quite get Wolverine. But in this time, he has an excuse because even Claremont didn't quite get Wolverine's character yet. So after Cyclops does what he does, then everyone starts ganging up on him for continually lecturing them about how the original X-Men used to do things. It's like the premise of a Saturday morning cartoon.
You can imagine this, though, right? That Scott, with his rigid training, is constantly like, the old X-Men could handle this.
So he's doing that when Angel pops up out of nowhere in his original costume.
What?
Then the rest of the original X-Men show up being really, like, disconcertingly rude, and they fight the new X-Men. The old X-Men start winning, but then Cyclops realizes they must be fake because Angel wasn't knocked unconscious immediately. Literally, legitimately.
Once again, the first sign that something is wrong is that Angel wins a fight.
Professor X then crawls into the room and tells the X-Men that these are manifestations of his brain, and he makes them disappear. Then an evil Professor X comes in and makes a hole in the floor that Wolverine almost falls into. Then the original X-Men show up again and pull evil Professor X into the hole. Then everyone disappears. Professor X tells them that this was his evil side that will take over if he ever forgets to keep it in check, like he has been recently, as he's been breaking down about his weird alien nightmares. Then the flashback ends. That's the end of the issue.
That's it. So fucking stupid.
Why did they do this again? Why did they do X-Men versus X-Men again?
That was like 3 issues ago that it was old X-Men versus new X-Men. Why do the duplicates never have an extra Scott?
This is worse than the Quasimodo issue.
It might be, yeah.
Okay.
It's not worse than the Blastar issue.
You're right. That's true. So this is apparently a part of Professor X's mythology now and forever. if Xavier's like, okay, so if Xavier ever stops focusing on it for a moment, his evil side becomes sentient and conjures beings.
And it's just, his evil side is just him in a cape.
And kind of green.
Yeah. He's got a green gel on the light that's shining on him all the time.
So if you just like slip Xavier a drug in his drink or something, evil Xavier will come out and make a bunch of guys attack you. Is that what you wanted, Bill Mantlo? Bill Mantlo! Was this what you were like, this is what Xavier's mythology needs?
Yes, some weird evil twin.
That lives in his brain. Wait.
It's probably...
Wait.
Oh.
All right, Bill Mantlo, maybe you've got something going.
Sorry,
we're not going to elaborate on this. We're not a spoiler. We're not one of these X-Men podcasts that'll spoil you.
Just don't start, Matt. Evil Professor X is probably a lot of fun at a party. So you imagine you invite Charles Xavier over. He has a few drinks. He gets a little loose. He invites his evil twin in.
We'll see Professor X at a party a little later in this episode.
Yeah, but he's not cutting loose.
I wonder if evil Professor X popped out. Okay, yeah, you think so?
Yeah, sorry for the spoilers.
Because he's trying to impress Dave Cockrum and John Byrne and all the comic book creators that are there.
Oh, yeah. That's all right. We'll
get to it.
To go.
All right, Pat. This issue sucked. Can you tell me about a good issue of the X-Men?
I can. That it's called X-Men number 107. Yeah, it's called X-Men number 107. Where no X-Men has gone before.
That's like a lot of places, though. There's only been like 13 X-Men in the history of the world. There's like a lot of places the X-Men haven't gone.
Well, this is surely one of them, Matt.
All right, you're right.
Chris Claremont, author, Dave Cockrum, artist, Dan Green, inker, Joe Rosen, letterer, Andy Yankus, colorer, Archie Goodwin, editor, release date July 19th, 1977, cover date October 1977. The X-Men are in space and in a dynamic pose as they stare down a giant ruby, Lilandra, Eric the Red, the guy that was on Eric the Red's monitor that one time, and 17 brand new characters we counted in superhero outfits. And now I will name them all from memory.
All right, Pat, let's hear it.
Who wrote this?
Let's hear it. Let's go.
Fang.
Okay, 1.
Gladiator.
Oh, good.
Lilandra.
Well, that's not one of them.
Eric the Red.
Okay.
The Emperor. Okay. Now that that's done, we're told by the narrator that this is the first time in years beyond number that any living being has been on this planet, but now it's got all these people on it. Cyclops demands the return of Lilandra and Eric the Red, but a guy named Gladiator, who looks like Superman with purple skin and a mohawk, tells them that Lilandra is a traitor and that he and his Imperial Guard will not surrender her. So, Cyclops blasts some dude named Mentor and a huge fight breaks out. He wastes no time getting into it.
No, he's just like, let's have a war then.
For
this woman I don't know.
There's the 8 of us. Jean is exhausted from powering up the Stargate, so she remains fairly useless as Nightcrawler scares off a shape changer named Hobgoblin with his image inducer. Neat little move.
Yeah, Hobgoblin turns into a Barrach'an Shovel Beast.
Yeah, sort of like a giant warthog with a rat face, right?
with a big lower jaw that could scoop up dirt, probably. And somehow Nightcrawler's image inducer device can turn into the same thing. I guess he programmed that in. Somebody programmed that in.
This is why they get rid of the image inducer altogether in like 2 issues. Chris Claremont takes it back and he says, all right, we're done with this.
I should never have had this power.
Yeah.
I should never have had the ability to use this thing in my writing.
Wolverine tries to kill a lady named Oracle, but her lover Starbolt blasts him with fire, so he seemingly murders a werewolf thing named Fang, then takes his clothes.
I want to stress here, when I wrote this, I was just kind of writing each thing as it happened, but what it does feel like, what Dave Cockrum makes it feel like, is that a massive battle is happening all around. It feels like chaos in every direction.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Wolverine changes costume here, and it's a cool costume. It puts him in the earth tones that I know they'll try a little later in his history, but weird that he beats up, maybe murders a werewolf and is like, I should just take his costume and wear that,
and
right?
Put it on me, actually. And he wears that costume a couple times, which is strange. Also, I had this action figure.
Huh.
Wolverine in Fang's outfit. I don't know why they made a whole action figure out of
Yeah,
this.
that's so you bought it.
And you would squeeze his legs and his arms would shoot outwards, would like spread out.
He's doing jumping jacks.
Yeah, exactly. Inverted jumping jack.
He's got a new costume, and if Fang is still alive, he's nude. Also, the reason he wanted a new costume is because his old clothes got burned off when he was hit with a big fire blast that didn't really seem to hurt him all that much. Burns off his costume. He is surprisingly undamaged, and then we just kind of move on from it.
He must be a little more powerful than we knew.
Yeah. In the midst of the fighting, Eric the Red, who we now know as Shakari, and Lilandra's mad brother, the Emperor Deken, are planning on feeding her to a beast called the Soul Drinker to gain access to the power inside the Big Ruby.
This is so much.
At the last minute, Nightcrawler rescues her, and the Soul Drinker accidentally kills some other guy that looks kind of like a robot. This causes them both to disappear. Nightcrawler, having never tried to teleport while carrying another person before, collapses of exhaustion. The fight rages on all around as Lilandra finally tells her story. It is very funny to imagine her telling this whole story.
Yeah.
As a battle wages on literally around her head.
Yeah, just like a full-on war with like 30 people.
Apparently, Deken had learned of an ancient force called the Mcran crystal, which is a gateway to a force that only opens once every million years. He wanted to harness it as a weapon, but when Lilandra opposed him, he had her arrested. The resulting schism split the military in two, causing a civil war. As her side lost, Lilandra escaped, stumbling into some inexplicable psychic link with Charles Xavier as he linked the world's minds to convince the Xenox to kill themselves back in issue 65.
Yeah, that's an interesting little thing. Like this is the one written by Denny O'Neil that had the weird monster with the man face in it that caused Neil Adams to quit.
Yes.
Like it seems like I maybe made an assumption there, but it seemed like it was. Did you get the same idea that it was Professor X's doing of that caused him to link with Lalandra somehow?
No, it seems like she had somehow sensed him before that. Had started heading towards him, and this is what signaled the greater empire because of how powerful that blast of mental positivity was, and that's how they knew to chase her back to Earth.
Okay, so her linking with him was just completely random.
It seems like it. Yeah, I have no idea, but
Okay.
it stays relevant through these next couple of issues.
But why the fuck did Chris Claremont have to bring back the Xenox? Why did he even have to reference this?
Only powerful Charles Xavier moment that you can conjure up out of the full history. So Deken, the Emperor, sent Shakari, his agent on Earth, to either kill Xavier or stop Lalandra from contacting him, which led to most of the events of the last 10 issues. Gladiator appears to argue with Lalandra about whether they should listen to Deken or not, as we check in with the huge battle still in full swing all around them.
I want to say this is pretty much what we had pieced together last episode, right?
Yes, they've been doing a great job of giving us some context so that when we get this, like, it ties it together for us. But yeah, we were right.
We did it.
The two of us, one of whom has already read through all of it. Back in the battle, a man that looks like Colossus but stars instead of metal punches out Wolverine. Starbolt and an orange-haired guy named Tempest blast Colossus, Storm, and Banshee with fire and lightning. A guy with a bubble for a face matches optic blasts with Cyclops, and they're both knocked out. Lalandra, at the mercy of Gladiator, seems about to get through to him when a bolt from nowhere blasts him square in the chest.
What?
That bolt came from the Starjammers.
Whoa!
5 more characters appear on this planet where no one ever is. There's a big green reptilian Hulk guy named Ch'ad, a little white pet that sits on his shoulder. Its name is Kari, but they don't tell us that yet. A human-looking pirate with a very handsome head of brown hair named Corsair, a half-cyborg, half-elf thing named Raza, and a cat lady named Hepzibah. That's not her actual name, though.
Yeah, but you can't pronounce her actual name, so Hepzibah is what he calls her.
With the addition of these new heroes to the side of the X-Men, the Imperial Guard is quickly taken out, as Corsair talks to Cyclops using an American accent and slang like "no sweat, pow," and "get down to business."
Don't say it like that.
Phoenix has a suspicion, so she mind scans him and is immediately shocked by what she finds out. But we don't know what that is. Because at that moment, Deken, who tells us that his people evolved from the birds.
That's the moment he decides to reveal that little detail.
Points out that the stars have aligned and the M'Kraan gateway is opening. What kind of stars, Matt?
9 stars and a cross?
There's a specific name for them that was not relevant before May of 1977, but now that we're in July of 1977.
I have no clue, man.
They're Death Stars.
Oh my god!
How mad do you think they were that in April they first used the term Death Stars to start this whole saga, and now we are 2 months after the premiere of Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, and they have to remind us that yes, these things are called Death Stars. We actually mentioned it like 6 months ago. So with the M'Kraan gateway opening for just one moment, all of existence blinks off.
Whoa.
Back on Earth, our boy Peter Corbeau notices the blink and calls Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. He tells them that if these blinks continue, the universe will die. To be continued.
It's good that he called Reed Richards rather than walking all the way to his house naked and wet
and soaking wet
and then climbing over the side of his building. Dude, so much
learned his lesson.
So much happened in this issue. So
Oh
not
my
only is it
god.
clear immediately why Dave Cockrum needed the extra time, right? He draws fucking, he invents like
17 new characters.
17 new characters and then the Starjammers. So that's
And
what,
the Starjammers.
22 new characters, and plus he has to draw all the X-Men and Eric the Red and Lilandra and Deken. Like, it's wild.
It's nuts. Let me ask you this, Matt. Are the
Yeah.
Starjammers, who I absolutely love from,
Oh, yeah.
from the very first line, are they just space X-Men?
Go on.
They have
Big strong man.
big strong man who's funny color.
Okay.
They have a little animal mascot that they can just bring around with them.
Who's
they
that?
have
Who's that? Who's that?
Kree.
Yeah, but who's that in the X-Men?
Oh,
Wolverine. No, Nightcrawler. Okay, good.
they have like a couple of funny looking skilled warriors. They have one very handsome human skilled warrior who clearly has, like, they've all clearly got some sort of next level powers.
I mean, yeah, I think there was a lot of pressure at this time too, because this is after Star Trek, right? So there's a lot of pressure to make these like space adventurer teams and stuff, right? Like there's like, what else was happening? There was Lost in Space at this time, and Battlestar Galactica would have been at this time, right?
Yeah.
There was just a ton of these, but this was an idea that Dave Cockrum had. He had these guys in a notebook for a really long time, and Chris Claremont was trying to urge him to, pitch his own series, and he was. I think it wasn't going anywhere, so he just threw them into X-Men.
All right.
So he just kind of gave them to Marvel.
Yeah.
The thing that's disappointing about the Starjammers is that they're really good supporting characters in X-Men comics.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not really ever going to see a good Starjammer series, at least as far as I've read. I've read a couple of the Starjammer solo series so far. I haven't read all of them, and they've been just really, really bad.
Yeah, it's the too many Han Solos problem, right? It's
okay.
Just everybody is the coolest fucking space cowboy you've ever met. There's no little rules following nerd that's coming into his own. There's no gay robots.
There is there is a Cyclops standalone series where I think he's adventuring with the Starjammers that happened in like the 2010s. Ooh. And I've heard that series is good. So maybe there's some good Starjammer stuff in that, but woof, dude, there's so much in this issue, and
yeah,
not just on Dave Cockrum's side.
Right, there's so much background here that's just like
a line of dialogue, then it's gone
mid-battle.
Yeah. So I made a list of it here. Do you want to just go down through some of them back and forth?
Yes.
Okay.
First, we learned that the aliens that make up this empire are from an avian race that conquered and enslaved Hepzibah's feline race.
It's always funny when a sci-fi author is like does this, when they do like, oh, this is a race of people that wasn't descended from primates, but descended from birds or lizards or felines. But they all just happen to be bipedal,
still have
and upright, and have two forward-facing eyes, and like just have every trait that a human being. Like they happen to turn into primates.
Yeah. What if a cat was a primate?
Yeah, exactly.
It's also, so we come to know these aliens as the Shi'ar, right? And
spoiler! No, of course we should be saying Shi'ar. They don't say Shi'ar. I don't know when they eventually do, but they don't in any of these issues. But yeah, they're the Shi'ar. Yeah.
I had no idea they were an avian race, that they were descended from chickens.
Well, it's hard to tell that their hair is supposed to be feathers. Because when I
thought they just had funny hats.
When people draw them, it looks like funny hats, or people never draw the detail. Most of the time, you just see a blob of black for their hair.
Yeah.
and you have no idea that that's feathers. And when sometimes they have like feathers on their arm or something, you assume that's just like a trait or part of their like armor.
That's
So,
fascinating. All
yeah,
right.
they're covered in
I
feathers.
don't like it.
But also, like, this small detail that's just a throwaway line is like, oh, we enslaved your race, is like, oh, there is a huge set of galactic history and politics out there that we don't know even a piece of. The Imperial Guard has its own drama too. Starbolt and Oracle are dating. We learned that in a single line of dialogue.
Right.
Starbolt's like, don't touch my woman or something.
Gladiator once almost loved Lalandra.
Yeah, that's strange. I don't even know if that ever comes up again. Lalandra was the Grand Admiral of the Imperial Fleet.
Even though Gladiator has a moral compass, he believes himself obligated to be aligned with whomever is on the throne unless their treachery can be proven.
And that's a thing that, again, established in like a line of dialogue, and we see that follow Gladiator forever. He will constantly do that when an evil person's on the throne. It's like, I have determined that the thing that is most ethical for me to do is to follow the empire. And if they have a ruler, I have to assume that ruler has the empire's best interests at heart unless it's proven otherwise. Like the general of a military when we elect a new president or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Inverse of Colossus.
Right. Nightcrawler is thinking of throwing away his image inducer.
Right, because it's getting so fucking ridiculous. This feels like a Claremont line where he was like, all right, fine. Yes, you can make him use the image inducer to turn himself into a giant monster, and then he's getting rid of it. But he's never using it again.
Which is, and I think that is funny because it's like, well, because he turned himself into the professor. He turned himself into, what else did he turn himself into? He turned himself into some other big monster at some point. And I think it's like too easy, and it's almost like Nightcrawler has this totally other power.
Banshee mentions that he's getting tired, that he doesn't really find the action of the fight as exciting as he used to.
Again, interesting. And like the Nightcrawler thing becomes part of his character. Nightcrawler learning to accept who he is. And this, again, throwaway line becomes part of Banshee. He's I'm getting too old. I can't continue being an adventurer like this. These creatures all speak the same languages. This is mentioned, I think, in 2 different lines. So that everyone speaks the same language, weirdly, except for Kree and that robot thing. Those are the only ones who seem to speak other languages.
Right. Wolverine cannot be stopped by Oracle's psychic powers.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Little preview of his feral mode.
Banshee loves Moira, which we kind of knew, but we didn't know it explicitly.
Oh, yeah, he says it out loud. The Starjammers are an anti-Imperial force.
Right. Even though they're
Pretty
on
cool.
Lalandra's side at that time, they're like, but we are not. We still hate Imperials. Corsair and Hepzibah are dating. More romance. Sort
of, right? It seems like they're...
Well, it calls her my love.
They're not calling it dating.
They're fucking... I think that's the end of the list, but there's so much in this that, again, just in a line, Chris Claremont writes what could have been 3 pages of story.
Yeah. And each of them become their own story arc.
Right, or at least just a
play into their character pretty heavily.
Yeah.
A few moments. Do we want to hear the good ones or the bad ones first?
Good ones first. Let's end on a bad note so we can pick ourselves up.
Perfect. Kurt Wagner just continues to be absolutely incredible. Number one, when that big monster first pops up.
The Barrach'an Shovel Beast.
He says, anyone got a shadow I could hide in? Just a very... We know from last episode that when he goes into the shadows, he can turn literally invisible. It's a good line. And then he gets into the fight and I forget who he's fighting, but he admires them. And he's like, oh, what a shame. What a fascinating power this guy has. Such a shame that I don't get to talk to him about it because we don't like each other.
It's the guy who turns into the Barrach'an Shovel Beast. It's Hobgoblin.
You're right. It's immediately after. He's just like, he's upset that they won't be friends after all this.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And then he knocks him out with 1 punch.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He's not that upset. We should add a new segment to each episode, and we should call it the KURT REPURT. And we just talk about what he did through the course of the episode.
He's just how sweet he was to everybody.
Yeah. Okay, now the bad things. Lalandra recounts the whole history, ties so many threads together for us about, the last 10 issues, why we've seen just about everything happen for the last, 2 years in the X-Men. What she can't explain is why Shakar chose Eric the fucking Red as his costume. This still makes no sense. Where did he even get that idea?
Yeah, when we see him, when we see him in her flashback, he's already Eric the Red. And it's like, fucking, they didn't know about Xavier until the Xenox, so after Cyclops was Eric the Red.
It must be so painful for Cyclops to have to go into a room and be like, I'm looking for the villain, Eric the Red. His head just to be like, this motherfucker. This was such a good plan I had.
Now it's embarrassing. Now I'm embarrassed
ruining it. And I looked good in that costume.
You could see my nipples. This guy covered up his nipples.
Here's the other thing that Lalandra reveals to us through the course of her story.
Okay.
First of all, she's soul bonded with Charles Xavier. We're not sure why, but it happened.
Right.
Second of all, she's not 100% sure that the fate of the universe hangs in the balance. She heard an old legend or prophecy, because this only happens once every 1 million years.
Okay, yeah.
If somebody actually takes these steps, it will be the end of all that is, right? And as we go on, turns out to be the end of all that is. But Lalandra is very clear here that she has no evidence that this is actually going to happen. She just believes, she fears that this Mad Emperor's actions are going to end the universe.
Yeah.
So Charles Xavier sends them all into a portal across the world to fight in a galactic war.
It's wildly reckless. Yeah, based on some mythology. She's like, I'm willing to cause a galactic civil war and kill all these people.
And he, because he's got a psychic crush on her, is willing to send his children in.
Well, he does this shit all the time. This is nothing new for Charles Xavier. He does not care about people's lives. He only cares about them in retrospect. And he's like, oh no, I got somebody killed. And it's like, yeah, you try, only after lots of trying and failing to get them killed.
He's such a jerk.
He sucks. Pat, I want to talk about real quick. I pulled up the wiki and it's just mind blowing because I did want to go down, just really quickly list all the Imperial Guard people. But instead of just that, I'm going to list all the people for whom it is their first appearance. This issue is their first appearance.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hepzibah, Raza Longknife, the Soul Drinker, the Imperial Guard as a whole, Gladiator, Astra, Electron, Fang, Hobgoblin, Impulse, Magic, Mentor, Nightside, Oracle, Quasar, Smasher, Starbolt, Tempest, Titan, Midget, and then the robot and the insect who get killed when the Soul Drinker explodes.
I don't know any of those characters.
Some of them become a big deal. Fang is mostly known for his costume. Gladiator becomes a huge deal. Oracle sticks around for a very long time. Smasher, I think, eventually becomes an Avenger. Some of these, they only recur as background characters in the Imperial Guard, but they stick around for a long time, like Astra and Electron, Quasar and Mentor. Impulse. I know it's not. But it's not. I don't know. He changes his name to Neutron because there's already a Marvel character named Quasar.
That's why he's going by Quasar right now.
That's why I'm calling him Quasar, because he's not Quasar, he's Quasar. Anyway, it's wild, and it only gets wilder in X-Men number 108. Armageddon Now.
Ooh.
Armageddon.
Believe it or not.
I'm getting tired of this friggin' space war.
Are you? This is great.
No, I kind of like it.
Believe it or not, Matt, Armageddon Now predates the movie Apocalypse Now by 2 years.
Everyone was just reading Chris Claremont comics and putting his shit in their stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
There's also, just before we get into it,
mhm.
the cover on this one is a little silly, but we get a very clear shot of Storm's butt and Banshee's crotch. He is coming at us, spread eagle, taint first.
It is also interesting we didn't mention that last issue was the last Dave Cockrum issue. It was his biggest issue. It's a crazy issue. It's the final Dave Cockrum issue. He'll be back soon
R.I.P.
for another.
Oh,
he'll be back soon for another short run. But this issue is the beginning of John fucking Byrne.
Oh boy.
The legendary Byrne Claremont run on the X-Men. We're in for some wild shit.
It starts fucking strong.
Maybe we'll talk more about John Byrne next issue, because we got so much to talk about here. Chris Claremont, author. John Byrne, artist. Terry Austin, inker. Wool and Oars, letterers. A Yankus, colorist.
Some Yankus.
Archie Goodwin, editor. Release date September 20th, 1977. Cover date December 1977. The X-Men and the Starjammers are standing over the unconscious Imperial Guard, looking at the Macron crystal and the waves of black and white light emanating off of it. Back on Earth, Peter Corbeau is yelling at President Jimmy Carter.
He's got a TV screen up, and on one screen is the Beast, the blue furry Beast, and Captain America, and on the other screen is Jimmy Carter's big old smiling face.
He's yelling at him about how the universe might be ending, and then there's Mr. Fantastic, Black Panther, Beast, Captain America, Wasp, Hank Pym. They all watch with concern as all of them are unable to do anything about it.
They also yell at a man named Joel, who I believe is supposed to be the deputy assistant of political affairs to the president, Joel McCleary.
Why is he on a conference call about the universe blinking on and off?
He's trying to explain the optics of it, and that's why everybody gets mad at him.
Back at the Macron crystal, a cute little purple alien baby named Jahf.
Oh.
Jahf is in the Winners League.
Jahf, yeah, Supreme.
Jahf climbs out of the gateway to talk to the X-Men. Jahf tells them all that he's the first guardian of the gateway to eternity, charged with keeping all beings away from the crystal. And then he punches Wolverine into space.
It was another moment here. He flies by the Starjammers ship.
Waldo. Waldo is, I guess, the computer in charge of the ship. But
Waldo notes that somehow he's still alive.
It's almost like Cockrum and Byrne both drew impossible things happening to Wolverine, and Claremont was like, well, I guess he's fucking unkillable.
Yeah. But it's another just like little hit. We don't, as a reader, we don't know anything about this.
Yeah, we don't know.
We've just seen Wolverine survive things that should have killed him in back-to-back issues now.
We also hear a lot, Chris Claremont has talked a lot about how Nightcrawler was Dave Cockrum's favorite. So we got a lot of Nightcrawler shit in the Dave Cockrum issues, but Wolverine is John Byrne's favorite. So we're about to get a lot more Wolverine.
Okay, yeah.
So punches Wolverine into space. The Starjammers direct their spaceship's computer Waldo to go get him, while the X-Men all attack Jahf. Jahf innocent. Poor Jahf. He's beating their asses when Phoenix reaches into space with her telekinesis and brings an entire fucking asteroid down on top of him. And he's fine.
It should have been an extinction event.
Yeah, right. But it's just, it's nothing to Jahf. He just shakes it off. Banshee begins to believe this little guy's actually a robot. So he flies up and grabs Jahf by his little... You know how babies seem like they have these muscular little arms?
Yeah.
Because they just have these like tiny... It's just all their muscles are
sausage
trying to
links.
fit inside their skin. That's what Jahf looks like. He looks like a little baby with little baby biceps.
With their actual muscles.
Right. Banshee begins to believe this little guy is a robot. He flies up, grabs his little baby arms, and gives him a sonic scream. All screams are sonic, directly to his face. So hard that Jahf disappears and Banshee's throat goes raw.
Whew.
Next
Out of the
up,
frying pan.
next up is the second Guardian, a giant golden robot named Mott. Mott, who tells the X-Men he is 1,000 times stronger than Jahf. Imagine if you were in a fight, like in a bar fight or something, and you punched a guy out. You were like, got him. And somebody else walked up and they were like, you might have knocked my friend Jeff out, but I'm Matt, and I am 1,000 times stronger than Jeff.
I mean, this guy might not be, he makes up about 1,000 cubic Jahfs. He's huge.
Tells them that once they beat him, this pattern will continue. So then it's like Matt who comes up and is like, I'm 1,000 times stronger than Jeff. It's like, and if you knock me out, my buddy's gonna come here and he's 1,000 times stronger than me.
I would want to see that guy.
You'd have to try really hard.
I gotta beat you up because I gotta see. We're up to 1 million times.
His appearance causes a second blink as communicated by Waldo to Raza. So Raza charges Deken and throws him into the center of the Macran crystal, and suddenly everyone is transported to a strange, silent city made of light. Jean surmises they're inside the crystal, and okay, you're gonna have to stay with us here. This all gets kind of surreal.
Yeah, buckle in.
All right, Pat, correct me if I get anything absolutely wrong, but I'm just gonna start going. So just interrupt me if I'm fucking up. She touches a weird glowing ball, and it plunges everyone into their own personal hells. Since Jean's already happened, her own death, she's the only one who becomes unaffected by the nightmares.
Holy
now,
shit.
conscious, Jean discovers that this was the final Guardian, meant to incapacitate any who came near it. But mental incapacitation for Cyclops means his beams are constantly firing. They hit the sphere and it starts to crack. Jean uses her Phoenix powers to penetrate the sphere and turn off the nightmares, turning into a glowing bird of flame. As she penetrates further into the sphere, she finds a latticework of energy that contains an entire neutron galaxy.
A living latticework.
A living latticework made of light. She sees a future where this galaxy breaks free and destroys the universe to birth a new one. Very interesting. The Phoenix is witnessing death and rebirth. To stop this, she must rebuild the lattice herself, even as it saps away the energy that makes up the Phoenix and is unmaking her physical form. She's like discorporating. So Storm offers herself as an anchor to help Jean to do the work without discorporating, knowing that this would mean sacrificing her own Aurora's life. To help increase their chances, Jean bullies Corsair into helping also by revealing to him that his last name is Summers. He is Cyclops' supposedly dead dad.
What the fuck?
Sidebar. Remember I kept mentioning his beautiful head of hair?
Yes, yeah. It's the same head of hair.
I know. I was hoping you'd catch it before it happened. Sidebar. This will be important eventually. Corsair's personal nightmare was watching a man that looks like Deken kill his wife Kate.
Ooh.
Okay, so with these anchors, Storm and Corsair in place, Jean disappears into the sphere and rebuilds the lattice with the power of... Okay, you're really going to have to help me out here, Pat.
Yes.
I think she does it with the power of friendship. She's thinking about her friends, and they each create a force with which she builds a Kabbalic tree where Xavier is the top and Colossus is the roots.
Right, and they refer to her as Tifereth, which is the sixth branch of the Kabbalistic tree of life. It is supposed to be the center of the tree, represents the balance of kindness and strength and how the two have to interact in harmony.
Interesting.
And it's usually represented as the sun. It's considered like the center of the Kabballah tree life.
And Phoenix is this hot ball of flaming energy at her best, which this is interesting. This is kicking off what we know as the Dark Phoenix saga. So we know that this balance between kindness and strength isn't always going to be in balance. So that's interesting. She's not actually putting the X-Men in the tree. I want to make that clear. She's like using her perception of their forms to build it.
Yes, it's sort of like it's a psychic representation of her love for them and their love returned for her, and how that allows them to be strong.
Okay. Yeah, this is all like 3 panels and 2 pages. Really, the artwork is really conceptual, and it's all told through the narration, and the narration's all very poetic. So it's hard to really. It's one of those writing techniques, right, where you just start getting more and more theoretical, so you don't have to actually explain what's happening.
Yeah. It is. I mean, they're pretty deep into the theoretical here. It is.
Yeah.
I'll go into this more at the end, but it is some hard sci-fi they're digging into.
Seconds later, the universe must be saved because the X-Men all pop out of the Stargate again.
Yay.
It's very surprising, right? Like, she's doing something. You get this sense that something positive is happening, and then they're just back on Earth. And you're like, oh, I guess the day is saved. The first thing they see is Firelord, who says that he has no beef with them anymore. Then Lalandra comes through the gate, and it collapses. Lalandra tells Xavier that D'Ken has been driven catatonic by the experience, and she will now be Empress of her people once the bureaucrats iron out the legalities. And until that time, she's exiled to Earth and is his girlfriend now. The end.
It is. We can get into the larger issue in a moment, but it is wild that Lalandra comes back and says, I'm emperor of the people. Everybody knows that. They know I'm not a traitor, but until they fill out the paperwork to say I'm not a traitor, if I'm there, technically they have to kill me.
So I have to be stuck here. And by the way, I'm your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, as if that's part of her sentence. Like, you have to go be this man's girlfriend now. Wow. So, like, just to really sum up on a very high level, in case somebody's having trouble following these 2 issues, the X-Men went to save Lalandra. D'Ken was going to use the M'Kraan crystal to open a gateway to this powerful weapon that he thought would help him conquer the universe, but was going to destroy it. The Imperial Guard was trying to protect him as he did this, because that's their legal duty. But the Starjammers and the X-Men teamed up to stop them. They all got sucked into the M'Kraan crystal. Phoenix repaired the gateway and sent them home.
And also Firelord was there.
The Firelord thing is still so weird. It literally is as you said it. He just happened to be passing by.
Yeah, and now he's involved.
Yeah, it would have made so much more sense for him to have been involved with the fight at the M'Kraan crystal.
Yeah, maybe he has a galactic reason to be there.
Right? Like, this could have been fucking Speedball or any Marvel character. I think he doesn't get invented for 20 years, but this could have been anybody. Who's the dumbest Marvel? This could have been WOODGOD. Stiltman. It could have been anybody. Why was it Firelord? It's just Dave Cockrum wanted to draw Firelord.
I caught you saying WOODGOD in there. We'll get there.
How do you feel? This is the first real. This is their second space adventure, but this is their first like space opera.
Yeah, and this is like far reaches. Their first space adventure was
just like
still
to a
within
satellite.
the solar system. Yeah. So this is their first time leaving orbit, leaving the solar system, leaving Earth.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, probably the smallest on that scale.
I'm gonna say this. I love the school drama. I love like the legacy aspects of the X-Men. I love the character drama of the X-Men. I love the soap opera stuff. I don't love the space stuff as much.
Well, I will say I am usually, when I read comics, a street level heroes guy. I love
Uh-huh.
the like just a guy versus 1,000 gangsters comic books.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna get into space stuff, please do this shit. Please give me like this huge cosmic war that we've stumbled into that actually revolves around a mystical space object that can teleport you into a world that actually contains its own galaxy, and like the
Yeah.
the sense of size like not really mattering. Like they really dig into
Yeah.
the weird sci-fi concepts, and that's what I love about this little series so much. Is in the past, we've talked about it 100 times, the writers would like scratch the surface of a being that exists beyond time, but they couldn't actually figure out how to make that interesting or how to dig
Right.
into those concepts. And now they're doing it. They are diving headfirst into this really cerebral stuff.
Do you think this was a pitch for a sci-fi novel that Chris Claremont had in a drawer that everyone kept rejecting, and he's like, "Fine, I'll just put it in the X-Men."
Maybe. I don't know, man. This seems like it's with the story you told, it almost seems like Chris Claremont just paged through Dave Cockrum's journal and was like, "Oh, I can write this. I can make a story out of this."
Yeah, I think it's also interesting how much the Imperial Guard looks like the Legion of Superheroes, right? And it's interesting, Dave Cockrum had just come from the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that's a much less deep observation than the really comprehensive and good one you just did, but that's
No. It's still very good, Matt. Really great observation.
They look like other guys from DC, actually, a little bit, don't they? There's a big one. Anyway.
There's a few really funny things here. Number one, there's this infinite system of guardians for the crayon crystal, but if you just toss somebody into one of them, guardians are no longer a problem. Like they are just meant to keep you from making
Yeah.
any sort of physical contact. But if you bring enough people, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah. Because all you have to do is touch the crystal.
There was,
And they don't seem too focused on stopping you from touching the crystal. They seem focused on fighting you.
yeah, they want to smash you, and if you can pull a quick juke on them, you're fine.
Just touch it.
Just don't try to fight them. That's all
No.
they want. Also, a very funny little blurb at the very end under the final panel. They say, "This book dedicated with respect and admiration to Dave Cockrum, who helped make the dream a reality." Very sweet. He didn't get to draw the final issue, but a lot of this is born from his head. And then immediately below it is, "I'm not dead, Dave Cockrum." Very good.
Very good.
And then there's one moment here that I really love that I think we've seen once before, but becomes a pretty regular theme in the X-Men, where the universe is about to be destroyed, or the whole Earth is about to be destroyed, maybe in some future cases. And we see the Avengers talking about how helpless they are. Like we see the heroes of the world unable to help and leaving it entirely to the X-Men, which is another just like, it's fun that it becomes an X-Men tradition, but it removes our "why didn't the Avengers do anything" question that we can always ask.
Well, I think that's a big thing, because the X-Men ostensibly aren't entirely like a superhero team. They're not supposed to be. Again, just in they are, obviously they are, but they're supposed to be a team that is meant to protect the world from the threats of other mutants.
Yeah.
And they just end up in these world-saving scenarios. And so there's so often this time where, it's like, well, why don't we call the Fantastic Four? They're away. They're off-world. Oh, well, why don't we, why don't we just wait for the Avengers to handle this? Oh, they're in hell. Whatever. I don't know how much I loved this final, like this as the wrap up. Like it happened really fast and it was very conceptual, very heady. I don't know that I loved it as the end of this grand adventure. And again, sort of like the wrap up to the past 12 issues of the series.
Yeah, it did seem a little abrupt for being the end of this grand story.
But we know that bigger things are about to happen. So, whatever. Who fucking cares, man? I don't fucking care. You think I care?
Should we get to some smaller things that happen, Matt?
Yeah, let's talk about some bad comics.
I'd
rather not. I don't want to. I don't want to do it.
Marvel Team Up Annual #1, The Lords of Light and Darkness.
Okay.
From a plot by Bill Mantlo, Chris Claremont, and Bonnie Wilford. Bill Mantlo writer, Sal Buscema and Mike Esposito artists, Jim Novak letterer, Hugh Paley colorist, Archie Goodwin editor. What are the chances that your parents name you Hugh and you grow up to be a colorist?
Bonnie Wilford was a colorist at Marvel at this time who also married Chris Claremont for a period of time.
Release date October 19th, 1976. Cover date December 1976. In a top secret government facility in Nevada called The Nest. When Stephen Marchese, government guy, comes in to invest, I'm choosing to pronounce it like Parcheesi.
Yeah.
Comes in to investigate. The scientists are a multicultural group of experts on various different science things, and they all die when the one who is Hindu messes up the handling of a bunch of nuclear materials.
Pat, now, why would you have to mention he's
Matt,
Hindu?
I wouldn't typically mention anybody's religion, but it does come up later.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine. Does Stephen Marchese come up later?
No, I don't think so at all, even though he narrates the first 3 pages of the story.
We see his corpse, I think. We see his, skeleton.
Cut to a year later, high up in the sky, Senator Turner and Dr. Mishkin, a Russian diplomat and nuclear scientist, are boarding a plane with Sir Lionel and Peter Parker?
What? That doesn't... One of these things.
They're on their way to a nuclear conference and wanted a photojournalist with a background in physics to document it.
Okay,
but
all right.
Peter's not the only surprise guest on this plane. Turns out Reed Richards couldn't make it, so he sent Charles Xavier in his stead, and Xavier invited all of the X-Men.
It's always funny when Charles Xavier has to introduce a bunch of grown adults to people as his students. It's like this guy that's clearly these people that are clearly in their 40s, 30s, and 40s, and he's like, "These are my students."
Especially Wolverine.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
That grizzled face and haircut.
And wait, and is that Errol Flynn behind you?
Wolverine wants to murder the senator with his bare hands for insulting Reed Richards, but before he can...
Why is Wolverine so... Since when did he care about Reed Richards?
I think he just hates the government.
Okay.
He makes it clear that he's Canadian, so he doesn't hold any reverence for U.S. senators.
And this is Bill Mantlo again, right? So it's just Wolverine's a guy who wants to murder everyone all the time.
Right. But before he can, the inevitable happens. The plane the X-Men are on is struck with disaster.
Oh, big surprise!
A black cloud forms around the plane, all the controls die, and it enters a nosedive. What's worse, a herd of super advanced robot mutates are flying right for the crashing plane.
Okay.
One of them starts shooting holes in the plane, injuring the pilots. Mm-hmm. It's time to take action. Scott and Peter run to the cockpit and do their best to steady the plane. Peter Parker rushes to the bathroom to get changed. Scott starts blasting robots out of the sky while Sean and Aurora leap from the plane to get a view of the situation. Logan, Kurt, Jean, and Spider-Man, who shows up, all tangle with the robots for a while, and Spidey eventually makes a big web parachute to help the plane land safely.
Do you think that's awkward for Jean? It's the last time this guy saw me, he physically assaulted me.
Oh my God, yeah.
And he never apologized. Right? He's not there hey, listen. Last time she's just the guy who randomly kissed me is here.
after I saved his life.
What the fuck is he doing on this plane? This is very strange.
It's very fun for Peter Parker to do the whole, it's time for Peter Parker to make an exit and Spider-Man to swing on in on a fucking airplane. You're 50,000 feet above the ground.
Yeah.
What connection do you think people aren't going to make about this? Peter Parker is missing. Spider-Man is suddenly on the plane.
They're gonna be like, hey, what happened to that photojournalist kid?
Yeah, where'd Peter Parker go? Nobody asks about him. Okay. On the ground, the X-Men and Spider-Man all head for the giant, mysterious hole in the ground that the robots came out of, looking for answers.
Makes sense.
Sensors indicate that it's extremely deathly radioactive. But luckily, Dr. Mishkin brought his anti-radiation spray, which can keep them unradiated for up to an hour.
I use that in when I'm playing Fallout.
Right. When they arrive, the hole is glowing with rainbow radiation, which Storm and Banshee push through only to be rendered unconscious. The rest of the gang tries to follow them in, but they're immediately bet by a man calling himself Yama Dharma, who starts blasting them all with death rays from his hands. He notes that Jean is powerful enough to deflect his rays and must not be harmed. Wolverine notes that the X-Men are in some deep shit when he slices the man open, only to see a cosmic night sky under his skin. "You can't be real," he shouts. Out comes his companion.
He also calls him a freak, right? He's like, "Get away from me, you freak!" It's like, what, Wolverine? What are you doing? Why are you saying this? You're Wolverine, right?
He's freaked out. He slices the man open. He's used to that just, bleeding.
Right.
It's one of my absolute favorite, very common things in comic books is when something that's supposed to be normal is actually replaced with outer space. So I was really bought in on this. I was like, oh yeah, what a freaky fucking guy.
I liked that visual, but the idea of Wolverine being like, "What? Get away from me, you freak!" It's just very not Wolverine. There's also a moment earlier.
Yeah, it is strange.
Part of our KURT report, there's a moment where Nightcrawler says, Wolverine finds security in the belittling of others. When Wolverine and Spider-Man are trading barbs, and it's like, Nightcrawler, you're usually pretty on point with your character your character assessments of people. I don't think that's true of Wolverine.
I think it's a little deeper than that.
Might be true of Bill Mantlo's Wolverine, but
it's what Bill Mantlo's KURT thinks about Bill Mantlo's Wolverine.
That's a good point.
Anyway, out comes the Yama Dharma's companion, a woman dressed in black and forcing a screech from a focus in her hand that knocks the entire group unconscious. Cut to an underground scientific lair that we know as the Nest. Jean Grey kneels unconscious on the floor while two groups of onlookers watch. One group is the X-Men and Spider-Man, suspended in some sort of force field, and the other group looks familiar. As Jean comes to and we see through her eyes, we find out this is 7 of the original 8 scientists from the Nest disaster. They explain that when their Hindu co-worker caused an atomic explosion, it killed him, but absorbed his thoughts and beliefs and distributed them to his co-workers in the form of godlike powers in the blast. Now, each of them embodies a Hindu god as perceived by their Hindu co-worker that blew up. They need to recruit Phoenix because while they have godlike powers, their molecular bonds are coming apart from all the radiation, and only Jean's power can keep them together. They also reveal that once fully together, they can finally feed off the energy of all life on Earth to keep themselves alive, which would, of course, kill all life on Earth in the process.
Yeah. Why did they turn evil? How do they know about Phoenix? What is any of this?
Unclear. While they're explaining all this, Jean is able to psychically block their view of the X-Men and Spider-Man escaping the force field. It's battle time.
Cool.
A kind of boring fight ensues, except that Mara the Dreamer makes everything colors in one very cool panel. Everyone is evenly matched until the gods start contorting and phasing. Their molecular bonds are fading. Yeah, apparently, Matt, they only had a few minutes left before this issue started.
Oh, weird. Why? Okay.
For some reason,
Convenient timing.
For some reason, everyone is sympathetic to them and think it would somehow be a good idea to send them into space in this form where they could consume all the energy they want and live forever as incarnations of Hindu gods. They're able to do this by
oh God, yeah, a Bill Mantlo, Chris Claremont special.
Having all the gods join hands in a circle, with Spidey and Colossus joined in that circle, and Jean and Nightcrawler inside the circle. Then having Phoenix touch Brahma to allow his mind force to flow through her. Jean then projects a mental image that Nightcrawler transports into the path of Scott's eye beams, which are shooting at full blast straight up into the sky. Banshee is also carrying mind force somehow and screaming it directly into Scott's beam. Storm is conjuring a cyclone to lower the temperature because this all gets very hot. And then the scientists end up in space. The end.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. This
If anyone's having trouble following along, it is very reminiscent of the final issue, the issue that got the X-Men canceled, where they used the power of positive thinking to defeat the Xenox by gathering everyone's thoughts on Earth and projecting it into Scott, who shoots it as a laser blast straight up into the sky.
And it's also similar to what they did to Krakoa, where, you know, they shoot their powers into Lorna Dane, who then interrupts the gravimetric field. It's just this thing that they do in these early X-Men issues where it's like,
and they ought to stop doing it.
If they all shoot their powers at each other, they become superpower, superpower. It's stupid. It sucks. This issue sucked. I hated it. And it ends with Spider-Man openly talking about Mary Jane Watson, full name, first and last name. He's like, oh, how am I going to explain this to Mary Jane Watson?
Oh, yeah.
And nobody's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wait a second. Are you Peter Parker?
Also, there was this photojournalist on the plane, right? This guy who I think used to date Mary Jane Watson. Anyway, he died or disappeared or something. And then Spider-Man showed up and he was talking about, that guy's girlfriend, Mary Jane Watson.
He's such a scumbag. He's going right after that guy's girlfriend. So there is a series of, it has to be 8 panels where Nightcrawler is able to help Banshee escape the force field. So Banshee is able to help Colossus escape the force field. So Colossus is able to help Storm escape the force field. So Storm's able to help Spidey escape the force field. So Spidey's able to help Wolverine escape the force field.
And the green grass grows all around. The green grass grows all around.
You don't have to show us every individual person finding the hole in the force field and getting out.
And it's just... Oh, and then they use their powers. That's the solution to each one. Yeah. It's not like it's clever or depends on the person before or after them. It's just like, and then Storm used her zaps to do it. And then Colossus used his punch to do it.
Spider-Man just used his webs.
This is a bad force field. They could have all done it. That could have been the thing. Bill Mantlo could have been like, they didn't make the force field very well, so everyone breaks out of it immediately. I don't know, that's kind of funny. You could have just left it like that.
Yeah. But no, they point out that everyone's tried their powers and it didn't work. But I guess Spider-Man didn't try his webs.
Everyone's tried their powers.
Teleportation. He just tried being blue instead.
He tried disappearing into the shadows. Storm tried using her cat eyes, and she was like, oh, wait, I should use my storms.
God.
Wolverine's like, I can't heal my way out of this thing. Maybe I'll use my claws. Stupid. It's bad, bad, bad. Do we want to just keep moving on?
No, hang on. There's so many
Okay.
things I have to talk about here. Number one, we mentioned Wolverine calling himself Wolvie a couple of issues back. Scott calls him Wolver.
What? I think it's that he gets I think it's that he interrupts himself because he does. I do think you're pointing out something very interesting, but I think it's a little different than you think. He says, "Let him go, Wolver. Let him go now."
Oh, okay. I
and-
see what you're saying.
but-
I read it as, let him go, Wolver. Let him go.
But it illustrates the fact that why has nobody ever asked Wolverine his name?
Nobody cares.
Nobody but at this point they're like, oh, we can't call him anything when we're in front of other people because we don't know. We can't call him Wolverine.
Oh yeah. Wait, is Wolverine his real name?
No one has ever asked him his name. They've been hanging out for like a year now.
I didn't really mention it, but at the end, Professor Xavier, of course, wipes a bunch of people's brains. All of the civilians that were involved will have no memory of the event.
Yeah.
And then here's what I thought was really interesting. Here's a concept that could be explored. This is essentially like an Inhumans origin story.
Okay, yeah.
But without the X-Men's help, they would die, within a year of having acquired their powers, whatever incident created their powers.
Yeah.
How many in a universe like this, how many times has that happened where essentially we've recreated the Inhumans, but they couldn't sustain it for more than a few hours before they just died out?
Yeah, in a universe where people are just constantly getting superpowers in these accidents, how many are just melting a couple seconds later?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people turn into Spider-Man but then are overcome by like the toxic shock and pass out and die?
Yes, or just turn into an actual spider.
They're like they shrink and then it's just like, oh. Boy, yeah, who knows? I want to talk about a much better it's another Bill Mantlo comic. It's called Marvel Team Up number 53, Nightmare in New Mexico. It is also from October 26th, 1976, so it's a week later.
Okay, that's quite a connection. It's the annual followed by the regular monthly, right?
Yeah, and these are also a year before where we're at in X-Men. I do want to point that out.
Right. We're doing it for a reason,
but
trust us.
The reason is Phoenix is already Phoenix, so these had to take place after they get back from space.
Yeah.
Written by Bill Mantlo, drawn by John Byrne, inked by Frank Giacoya, edited by Archie Goodwin. Release date October 26, 1976, cover date January 1977. The Hulk is, for some reason, leaping around a ghost town in Nevada. As he goes to investigate the only sign of activity he can see, a truck turned over on its side, a satyr appears, calling itself WOODGOD and calling Hulk not his father. This upsets Hulk. I know I am your father. Who starts fighting him immediately. Cut to the sky.
No idea what's happening. Why is the Hulk here?
Yeah.
What's a WOODGOD?
Why is he mad at what the fuck is WOODGOD?
He's a satyr. He's some sort of goat man. I should say satyr. Goat man is its own cryptid.
WOODGOD Netflix series when, Pat?
It's on the cover of this issue, it says, as if WOODGOD weren't enough problem, here comes the Hulk.
Dude, well, he wasn't a problem. I didn't even know he existed. He's a problem now. Now he's a problem. He's a problem for my cognitive functioning. Cut to the sky. The X-Men are giving Spider-Man a ride home to New York from the weird incident that just happened when they see a bunch of hovercraft headed towards them. The aircraft fire missiles at the X-Men, announcing they're afraid of anything that's alive in this town of Liberty. Cyclops shoots all but one of the missiles out of the sky, but one is enough to force the X-Men to land and figure out what the hell just happened. They intercept a transmission from the commander of the aircraft they were just attacked by and learn it's a military operation on its way to handle the situation in Liberty. The Hulk and WOODGOD are fighting. Okay. Do you think that all the people, all the X-Men and the military people were like, what the fuck is WOODGOD?
Yeah, they're only worried about the Hulk. They're like, he's fighting some sort of goat.
Spider-Man, looking to save his friend Bruce Banner from the full force of the military, decides he has to stay behind and help. Peter, if you're going to do this, if this is a commitment of yours, you're just going to have to follow the Hulk. The Hulk is always being attacked by the military.
Yeah.
Why this one do you care about?
Because he's in the area.
Yeah.
If you're in Nevada in the Marvel universe, you have to go deal with the Hulk. It's just like, it's rude not to.
The X-Men feel no such obligation, but Banshee is kind enough to fly Spider-Man over to the town where it's all happening, wish him luck, and head back home. The X-Men are going back to New York.
Woo!
And Banshee's gone too. Like, I don't know why we're still talking about this issue. But we're staying here in Liberty where the Hulk and WOODGOD are just trading blows and getting frustrated with each other. Suddenly, though, the Hulk feels weak and dizzy, and after an accidental electric shock, he transforms back to Bruce Banner. Bruce is feeling very sick, though, and collapses. WOODGOD has no time for that now, though, as the military has shown up in their weird little hovercrafts. WOODGOD bashes one out of the air with a telephone pole he ripped out from the ground, and Spider-Man manages to save the pilot. The pilot, clad in a hazmat suit, lets Spidey know that this area is filled with nerve gas after a drunk farmer crashed into a tank of the stuff. Yeah, Pat, it's full of what?
This town is filled with nerve gas.
Yeah.
After a drunk farmer crashed into a tank of the stuff.
Yeah.
The tank of nerve gas that they were keeping in the town.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Every town has a tank of nerve gas in it, and that's why they tell you not to drive drunk.
They hit the nerve gas tank.
Thank goodness Spider-Man was sprayed with that anti-radiation spray in Team Up Annual #1, which also makes him immune to nerve gas.
What?
Spider-Man finds WOODGOD, finds out he can't be webbed up, and then Hulk wakes up already mad at Spider-Man. The end. Fucking
the end. Not to be continued because we are not following this thread.
We are never going to follow this thread again. WOODGOD is wandering around talking about, okay, issue opens, Hulk finds an empty town, just assumes it's his. He's like, this is my town. I guess no one's here, so it's my town. I own it. Very funny. Then WOODGOD's walking around talking about how some scream happened.
Yeah,
are you a victim of the scream? Did the scream happen to you? A scream killed my father. Are you, is this the source of the scream? And then they have Banshee. They choose Banshee to be the one to bring Spider-Man. The man who scream all the time. And Pat, was there any connection between the scream and Banshee showing up?
No.
Not even a little bit.
Whatsoever. That's
WOODGOD,
not what he's talking about.
WOODGOD never even sees him. I thought, like, you'd think for sure, oh, he's gonna think Banshee is the source of the scream, and he's gonna fight Banshee. Oh, and then you're ready to make fun of it for that. Like, oh, convenient that Banshee was the one who decided to drop Spider-Man off when Banshee happens to be the person who screams running to a guy who hates screams. But it doesn't even fucking matter. The whole point of this story is just to show that the X-Men are coming home from Nevada.
Yeah, that is all the X-Men are here for, is to
come home from Nevada
for a short while.
And to not have Spider-Man with them when they get home.
Yeah. Woof. This
It's like
might
how they
have been worse.
It's like how they tell filmmakers, like, look, you can just show them in the car and then show them in their house. You do not need to show them stopping the car, getting out of the car, locking the car, walking up the footpath, opening their door. Like, nobody told Marvel that. And they're like, well, the X-Men are in Nevada. We have to show them getting home. And if we show them we have to explain why Spider-Man isn't with them. Otherwise, people are going to get so confused.
Right? As far as I can tell, Team Up is a Spider-Man title. And it's Spider-Man teams up with, in this case, the Hulk.
And WOODGOD. teams up
I guess
with
he
WOODGOD.
doesn't actually team up with either of them. At the end of the issue, he's fighting both. He's getting ready to fight both of them.
Oh my gosh. Good. WOODGOD's still around, dude.
He only teams up with the X-Men here. WOODGOD comes back?
Yeah, WOODGOD's still around. WOODGOD isn't like a Marvel character.
Weird.
Yeah.
This would be the perfect time for, say, a Weapon Jason to write in and explain to us what's actually happening in the Marvel team-up continuity that would add some context here. I'm saying right now, do not.
It would be a good time for it, but please don't.
I don't want to know anything further about this.
I even think we're gonna see, like, I know WOODGOD only from the cover of certain Marvel Comics Presents issues, where it's like, and also WOODGOD and stuff. Like, it says WOODGOD. It's a WOODGOD story somewhere on the cover, but like then I just read the Wolverine story inside and keep moving.
As if WOODGOD weren't enough problem.
And I do think we might. It depends if we're going to talk about Alpha Flight or not.
Oh, yes.
If we're talking about Alpha Flight, we will have to talk about WOODGOD again in the very distant future.
Good, because if we're going to see WOODGOD again, it better be among a bunch of other little freaks. What's he want?
Who is he?
I don't want to know. I don't care.
Why invent him?
Bill Mantlo. This is where I really joined in your hatred for him.
Okay.
Number one, he's writing Banshee as Scottish. He's writing like the Dinnays and lads and lasses. Like
lads and lasses could be.
Yeah, that could be. Also, here's one of Spider-Man's one-liners, just to give you a taste of how he's writing Spider-Man in here. Here's one of one of his one-liners. You're more laughs than a bad case of heartburn. What, dude?
What? Okay, number one, no one would claim that heartburn gives you laughs, or the reverse of that. Yeah, no one would claim like, oh, you know what the antithesis of laughing is? It's heartburn. Nah, it's probably, I don't know, like watching someone die. Like it's probably like I don't know, getting stabbed in the chest. Like I don't know. It's not
heartburn.
It's not heartburn.
This is just a non sequitur.
You're more laughs than 3 pens on my desk.
Yeah, just something neutral but not great.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Let's move on.
I'm gonna have to. I have to really upset you here, Pat.
No.
We have decided. We have made a commitment to each other, to ourselves, and now that I'm saying it out loud to you, dear listener, in a couple episodes here, we're gonna do two episodes where we see what Iceman and Angel are up to in the Champions.
Yeah. Yep.
Pat, guess who writes Champions 8 through 17?
No. Are you serious?
I didn't know it until right now.
All right. Let's see. Can we move on?
Okay, yeah, what's the next issue?
To Iron Fist number 15. Enter the X-Men. Chris Claremont, author, John Byrne, artist, cool. Dan Green, inker, Annette K, letterer, B. Patterson, colorist, and Archie Goodwin, editor. Release date May 31st, 1977, so truly not far after the release of Star Wars. Cover date September 1977. The issue opens on some Iron Fist shit. He is fighting a bunch of ninjas. Cut to Logan, out of costume and standing outside of Jean Grey's apartment, staring at a photo of her and Scott. He tears the Scott part off of the photo and thinks about how pathetic it is that he's obsessing over a woman when he spots a man sneaking into Jean's apartment. Inside the apartment, we see that man is Iron Fist, who forgot Misty Knight was away in the Caribbean.
That's the premise that kicks off this issue is Iron Fist forgot Misty Knight wasn't home.
Then we get a cut to that, whatever intrigue is happening with Misty Knight off in the Caribbean. Just general, I think this is how Iron Fist issues go.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. It's if you're following Iron Fist, which we're not, we'd describe that scene and it'd be cool.
Yeah, probably makes sense. Back to New York. Iron Fist is walking around the empty apartment, looking at food that's been left for some kind of party and sticking his fingers in it right in the potato salad when Wolverine bursts through the window in Fang's costume. He's still wearing it.
What? But saying still wearing it, so this clearly takes place after that, but this issue was released before that issue.
Oh, yeah, this is like a month and a half before that comes out.
Yeah.
Maybe he had a very similar outfit. Something happened to it, and while he was across the galaxy, he was like, "That's the fucking jacket that I've been looking for."
I love this thing. Get your hands out of the friggin' potato salad, Danny.
Right. Wolverine, sensing that, bursts through the window in Fang's costume. The two fight, and the way Wolverine moves reminds him of a guy he met recently named Sabretooth.
What the fuck?
Huh.
Man, that probably won't come up again.
His trademark Iron Fist isn't working, but he manages to toss Wolverine out a window anyway, immediately panicking that he killed him. It's a 5-story drop.
Yeah.
Though, at that moment, Peter Rasputin and Kurt Wagner, Sans Image Inducer, are walking down the street and they catch a falling Wolverine. He tells them about the burglar, and Colossus fastball specials him right back in the window while Kurt teleports up into the apartment. They all start fighting. Cut to Storm, who is happy to be experiencing some calm for once. She lands on Jean's roof and changes into civilian clothes, ready for a party, and walks in the door only to be splurched in the face by the fingered potato salad. Just then, Moira and Banshee, walking down the street, see a lightning storm erupting from Jean's apartment. Iron Fist begins to flee through the roof, fearing that these intruders are too strong for him and he may need to get to the Avengers.
That's
when
a kind
Banshee,
of a cool moment.
It is kind of cool. He's like, I wonder if I should call the Avengers.
Yeah.
But he's a little more panicked than that.
Yeah.
But as he does, Banshee grabs him by the arm and flies him into a chimney. Iron Fist manages to flip Banshee over and knock him out when Storm flings him back into the apartment with a gust of wind right into Colossus's arms. Wolverine then pops his claws through the front of Iron Fist's mask.
That's super cool.
Right on either side of his nose.
Yeah.
And starts demanding answers. A moment later, though, they're all frozen in place as Phoenix arrives back at her apartment. She explains that Iron Fist is just Misty Knight's best friend, and Cyclops lectures everyone for jumping to conclusions. Storm's only defense is that she got hit with potato salad.
She's like, I'm embarrassed. She was like, it was smelly and eggs and, oh, I'm so embarrassed.
A few hours later, they all have a party, and Jean's landlord shows up to kick her out until he finds out that one of the party guests is Danny Rand, whose company owns the apartment. Danny promises to take care of Jean's lease, and she promises that Wolverine will clean up the mess. The end.
Okay, so the premise of this issue is the X-Men are preparing for a party when Iron Fist stumbles in because he forgets Misty Knight isn't home.
Right. They don't know Iron Fist.
And he doesn't know them. This party, the guests are the X-Men.
Yeah.
Billionaire Danny Rand.
Yes.
An alien lady with feathers for hair.
Sure.
The landlord who owns the building, who manages the building.
Gotta invite him.
And then 5 comic book creators.
Yes. There's
Dave Cockrum, Chris Claremont, John Byrne, Bonnie Wilford, who again married the colorist and was married to Claremont, and Patty Greer Klein, who is Dave Cockrum's second wife. I don't know if she actually worked in comics or not. Why are they not? They're standing around talking with each other, and they're not like, what? Why is there an alien with feathers for hair here?
Right.
Why is billionaire industrialist Danny Rand here?
So what do you do?
I'm actually a blue demon man who teleports. No, I thought I meant for work. Oh, I don't work. Oh, all of us? We're all unemployed. I guess.
Except for me. I'm an empress.
Gene models sometimes.
I'm a landlord. I have a job. This was so goofy and fun and stupid. Absolutely silly. There's no villains here. It's just a misunderstanding between several heroes.
Yeah.
and they just get to do a little show off of their powers. It's very vibrant. I think
The colors are amazing.
yeah, the colors are really
And
amazing, and they're so
John
deep.
Byrne's art is so clean here.
I was gonna say, it seems like they've been over inking John Byrne's pencils, because you see it with such minimal inking here, and it's really, it pops so much more.
I don't think I would love Claremont's Iron Fist. Like, based on the samples. I've read 2 of Claremont's Iron Fist issues. We'll get to the other one way later. But
Sure.
I don't think I would love it. But I do kind of want to read it because it looks so good.
Yeah, I like Iron Fist. I've read a couple of full runs, and then I've read like just some single issues here and there. It's fun. It's always it doesn't matter the writer.
Yeah.
It's almost always this. It's him like listing the moves he's doing, getting into some sort of incident that is like pretty low stakes because he's a happy-go-lucky guy.
I read the Ed Brubaker and Matt Fraction
Yes,
and
David Aja.
David Aja. That
So good.
the writing was probably very good, but it's the art that kept me coming back. Like, apparently really good artists love to work on Iron Fist.
It's a study in human movement, right? He's doing all
I guess
these
so.
crazy things, and he's shouting them out as he does them. That's my favorite thing about Iron Fist, is he's like triple eagle punch as he does it.
Hammer blow, which I think is
Yeah.
what is that what he did? Hammer arm or hammer blow is what he did to Banshee after he flipped him over. It was
Yeah.
really brutal.
Hammer blow.
How do 2 women, Misty Knight, who works for the police, Jean Grey, who's a model sometimes,
Mhm.
they own what appears to be a 2 to 3 floor apartment with a street entrance and private roof access
Yeah.
in Manhattan,
In Greenwich Village.
in Greenwich Village, with a loft. How do they own this place?
It's the 70s. It's Manhattan in the 70s, so it's
This means nothing to
not
me.
quite as expensive as it is today.
Okay.
It's not the millionaire haven that it is today. Couple of crazy moments here. Number one, when Wolverine first enters to attack Iron Fist, he refers to Jean as my woman. You're in my woman's home.
Come on.
But don't start that. This is Bobby Drake behavior. You don't want to.
Yeah.
You
And
want to be the Iceman of the group.
Iron Fist is even like, well, he can't be talking about Misty Knight because she's my woman.
Right?
And he can't be talking about Jean Grey because she's with Scott Summers.
It's so good. His assumption is like, oh no, me and Misty just broke up.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Has she already moved on to this fucking weirdo psycho? Iron Fist has, and this is not a habit that I've seen in other issues of his, but here he's got exclamations that he says, dragon's bones, when he's just surprised by something. Dragon's bones, that punch hurt. Or like, gods of Kunlun.
Yeah.
There's one that he says, which is, God of us all.
Jesus Christ.
Is that
Christian Danny Rand.
He had very monotheistic. That was a weird one. And then really interesting thing from the very beginning, the narrator points out that the character that we're seeing watching over this apartment is named Logan, and then goes on to point out that honestly nobody actually knows that his name is Logan. We heard one character say it to him last episode, and he was shocked that somebody knew.
Yeah, that's right.
We've gotten another
Leprechaun.
mention since then, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Even like if you missed that one issue, this is
that's a good point too. Yeah, even a reader. Yeah.
This time, this is a nerd secret. This is capital in the comic book shop world. You could be like, well, I know what Wolverine's real name is. Do you?
Yeah, that's a deep trivia.
KURT has a really good moment. Wolverine gets knocked out the window, right?
Yeah.
Falls to the ground, lands in Colossus's arms. Colossus is like, what is going on? And Wolverine's like, there's a thief up there. I have to go kill him. So Colossus throws him up, and then KURT is like, okay, we're dealing with Wolverine here. We don't know that this is actually somebody that he should be killing. He actually says, It could just as easily be the mailman. That's a direct quote. It's extremely... So he's like, let me teleport up there and make sure he's not killing an innocent civilian.
It's so funny that they're just dealing with a guy like that. They're just like, okay. And there's an affection there, too. They're like, okay, let's just make sure he's not killing.
Yeah. They're acting in his best interests as much as whoever's inside the apartment.
And KURT not using his image inducer.
Yeah,
He's
what a
just
big
walking
moment
down
for
the
him.
street as Nightcrawler.
And we enter mid-conversation in media reces.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Where KURT is really just like, and then I said, I'm not going to use the image inducer anymore. I'm done with it. He's just very proud to be blue and furry and out there. I'm happy for him.
I think that's very cool.
I do, if I was going to offer one tip to him, he's a sharp dresser. He doesn't need to wear his X-Men costume everywhere.
Yeah, he probably
should
should
be blue and furry and
wear a nice suit
pants.
like his friend Colossus next to him. But then again, Colossus destroys the suit immediately.
He absolutely does. I guess maybe his clothes can't teleport with him. That's not true.
Colossus could just take a second to take off his suit.
Yeah, loosen the tie.
Yeah. Well, Patrick, we got a little chunk of the X-Men and then like kind of where they're at in the Marvel universe at this moment, right? How do you feel about this, couple months of X-Men?
I'll say it again. I am so excited about the X-Men issues that we read here. I think they are so good. They're getting into these really deep, cerebral science fiction concepts. They're not afraid to touch them. They do fun things with space-time. They imagine a living universe being bundled up within a living light mesh to keep it from destroying, I guess, paving over the existing universe to exist on its own.
Yeah.
They break down Phoenix's power. They have the Starjammers, a big group of space cowboys. Like, they really, this cosmic war, they want to get into this stuff that previous writers have been afraid to touch. And then reading through the team ups in Iron Fist, it reminds you what the rest of comics are like right now. We are very much in like a psychedelic revolution in comics. So they're still goofy. They're still weird and trippy, but they're so shallow. They're afraid to explore. There is a rule around Marvel at this time that you need to return everything to the status quo as soon as possible. And X-Men is just the exception. Like we said,
it's not doing it. Yeah.
So so it really shows you that this is something special. The X-Men issues that we read, the Claremont Cockrum and Claremont Byrne issues, are something really special. And that's even at the time among their peers, it really stands out.
That is a good point. Being able to see the comparison of what's going on in X-Men versus what's going on elsewhere. And I mean, even what's going on in Iron Fist, right, is Claremont and Byrne. Yeah, so it really shows you. I wish we'd seen some other writers than Bill Mantlo. Right? Like, I want to see what... I don't know. Yeah, if this had been 3 different writers, I feel like we would have gotten a better picture of what's going on elsewhere in Marvel. Yeah, I you're right. It is interesting. So, before we get the fuck out of here, Pat, here's what I want to know from you.
Okay.
Is there anything in these issues that we read that's worth stealing and dealing?
Oh, Matt, I gotta say, this episode, there absolutely is.
Oh, sweet. It's Pat Steals and Deals.
An angry thunderbolt of terror explodes out of the ocean's depths.
Jaws.
Orca, the killer whale, destroys sharks, ships, and men. He rules the ocean. He terrifies the earth. He is without mercy and without equal. Orca, the most powerful, the most fantastic animal in all the world. Dino De Laurentiis presents Orca, starring Richard Harris and Charlotte Rampling. Opening in July at a theater near you. And then help me describe this image.
It is okay. It is a killer whale.
Yeah.
Smashing through 1 to 2 boats. It's hard to tell if that's one. I think it's one boat that's knocked in half.
Yeah, it looks like an old Spanish galleon.
The top half is way far away from the bottom half. Well, an old Spanish galleon if it was the size of 2 people. There's one guy in the half in the water, and there's another guy that's like leaping on top of the orca holding a spear like Captain Ahab.
Yes, he is falling from the sky, spear in hand, ready to take out this orca. And it gives you a sense of scale. This orca must be 50, 60 feet long. It is it's blue whale size.
Can I say what's maybe my favorite little detail? Oh, and in the
please.
background is just like a bunch of wreckage that's hard to tell. Is that fire? Is that a city? Is that other boats that he's destroyed? It's just hard to tell. My favorite little detail is if you look in the top half of the boat that's been separated from the bottom half.
Yeah.
There's clearly either a stepping stool or a folding chair. That is in the boat.
This is the artist just having a little fun putting a stepladder in there.
Yeah. This is so Dino De Laurentiis. Who the fuck is this guy?
Filmmaker.
He produced. He lived from 1919 to 2010. He produced or co-produced over 500 films. Jesus Christ, this guy made a lot of movies. And Pat, I've heard of almost none of them. All right, do you want to open up his wiki? We'll both open up his wiki and we'll say out loud if we see one we recognize. All right, you ready?
Let's go.
All right, it started in 1946. I'm up to 1955.
Hang on. We're going to get the Hunch. Oh, no, it's the Hunchback of Rome.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
I don't know.
The Bible? I've heard of the Bible.
I don't think you've heard of that. But The Shootist. Okay, there's one. Oh, the 1976 King Kong and the John Wayne movie The Shootist.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Something. Then towards the end of his career. Okay, Evil Dead 2.
Ooh. Flash Gordon? The 1980 Flash Gordon?
I don't know that.
You don't know the 1980 Flash Gordon?
No. Hannibal, Red Dragon, and Hannibal Rising.
Oh, he got all the Silence of the Lambs sequels after seeing Silence of the Lambs.
Mm-hmm. It says he's uncredited on Orca, but we just saw him credited.
Yeah. He's Death Wish. He's uncredited in Death Wish.
Yeah, in some of the ones he's uncredited on, like I've heard of them. Like I've heard of The Hills Run Red. I've heard of Orca, Halloween 2, Conan the Barbarian, Amityville 2, Halloween 3, The Dead Zone, Firestarter, Conan the Destroyer, Dune, Manhunter, Blue Velvet, Leviathan, Herval.
He was.
But those were all his uncredited. In all the things he has credited on, I've heard of 3 of those films. Okay, what do you know about Orca? Did you do this is insane. Is it just
No, this looks so stupid. It's okay.
It's just they're trying to do Jaws again, right?
Yeah, so this 100%. We are less than 2 years after the release of Jaws.
Okay.
This is just trying to capitalize on the massive success that got. But replacing the shark with Free Willy.
It's got an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Great.
I love this one review from the Washington Post. It's essentially a rehash of an earlier De Laurentiis hit, Death Wish, with the killer whale in the Charles Bronson role.
That's so good. So that, Matt, for this week is your Pat's Steal and Deal.
As you could go see Orca starring Richard Harris and Charlotte Rampling. It's opening in July. Opening in July at a theater near you.
That's today.
Oh,
I guess by the time of release, that'll be...
No, July, you just missed
months.
It. Everybody, thank you for listening. Make sure you email. Sorry that we talked about so many Bill Mantlo comics. Thanks. If you want to...
Listen, if you want to be featured on Pat's Email Corner, or even if you don't, you just want to reach out to us and say, hey, mutantmenacepod@gmail.com. If you want to follow us about
anything. Email us about anything. We haven't been doing as many calls to action recently as Email Michael pointed out, but That doesn't mean you can't email in with a question, with an observation, or, just spin your wheels a little bit. We do that sometimes, and we cut it out of the show, but you can do it and email it to us.
Here's a call to action. Just email us about anything. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a fuck?
We just want to chat with people. Matt made fun of me the last time I replied to somebody's email, so I can only chat with you through this podcast, but this is how I make friends. You can also follow us on Instagram at Mutant Menace Pod.
Yeah, you find us on YouTube. You can find us on any of your podcasting platforms. Leave us reviews and say something nice about us on social media.
Huge thank you, as always, to Krills Wilson for the opening theme, and huge thanks to Julia Selly for providing the voice of Trish Tilby. And Matt, I guess there's nothing else to say.
Except for I'll say the catchphrase that we say every single time.
Okay, yeah.
So
take it away.
It's fine, and then we're done. So as we say, catchphrase out of every episode: keep pushing, big mouth, and you're gonna find yourself sliced.
That's right, Matt. Like we always say, I have seen within your mind, mortal. Your plan is good.